It's a pleasure on behalf of Shared Services Forum to host you all as part of this summit. Our journey started way back in 2011, and many of you would be a regular visitor to this platform and would be aware of how we have evolved over the last 10 years in terms of multiple focus area at Shared Services Forum. But today's afternoon, India time, is very, very important for us to have a reflection by many of the industry veterans looking at how to really take that leapfrogging and look at some of the new operating models from the finance point of view or the way forward point of view. I'll just take a minute back to share about, for the people who are maybe logging in for the first time on the Shared Services Forum platform, who we are, what we have been doing for the last 10 years. So Shared Services Forum, as you know, it's a growing community. It started about 10 years back. It's a forum for practitioners, by practitioners. Every ideas and thoughts are from the practitioners. We are not an event organization. We bring the practitioners from a different space. So it be a functional focus like finance or HR or IT, or cutting across the functions from a shared services organization or from a GBS, as we call Global Business Services, or Global In-House Center organization, or GCCs, as these days we call about Global Capability Centers. So as it cuts across multiple industries, multiple functional areas, and multiple focus areas is what we bring as part of the Shared Services Forum. We look at global organizations, we look at India multinationals, very focused India organizations sharing their practices, their success stories, some of the failures as well, because we believe one thing, that learnings is a combination of success and failures, and it is important that we share some of these as part of knowledge exchange. So this is a community which is growing, and we focus multiple things as part of this community. One, of course, knowledge exchange through events like these. Now, of course, it is only limited to the virtual events. We were earlier having a combination of in-person physical events and virtual events. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that all this speculation about wave 3 of pandemic is managed and handled well, so that we are able to find opportunities to meet in person as well. I think so far it's been quite good in terms of looking at some of the progress virtually. I think there will be many areas where we'll be further deliberating as we go ahead, as we look at the topics to build in the times to come, in the months to come. I think the second area, besides doing these events, we also look at is very clearly the encouraging organizations to share their stories, share their knowledge through journals. So we have a quarterly journal by name Process Edge, and we use quarterly journal Process Edge for sharing this knowledge, sharing this their success stories, sharing some of the recognitions, and so on and so forth. We also have a very strong focus on research and publication, where there's a research desk at Shared Services Forum which keeps hunting for what we call just not best practices, but also next practices. How do we set the direction for the industry by bringing in some new path-breaking frameworks? And we have some path-breaking frameworks, and I am sure you would have been all keeping a tap of it on many of these frameworks which we have released in the past. So it'd be like called TIPS. So we changed it completely from what we call ITES to TIPS by saying it's an IT-enabled services to tech integrated business services. Or we talked about PMM, process maturity model, or we talked about 7 tracks of highly effective GBS, or a people framework, or a 3 I's framework, and so on and so forth. So multiple frameworks which provides the the shared services organizations, either in the setup phase or in their stabilization phase or in their transformation and evolution to the next leap phase, how they can compare themselves, how they can look at a reference framework to build and grow both from the capability as well as expansion point of view. That's a third area which we focus. Besides knowledge exchange through the events, through the publications like quarterly journal called Process Edge and the research desk. The fourth one is a very interesting one, and I think there are people who keep looking forward to it, is excellence awards and recognition. So we have an excellence awards and recognition. We have a separate eminent jury panel which looks at these excellence awards, and it's a once in a year phenomena at a yearly annual conclaves. So we have recognitions for the organizations, which is the shared services units, organizations who are not even having a shared services but able to transform and provide some business impact, and also individual recognitions both for a pioneering leaders as well as some achievers who are in this space and making a lot of difference to their organization. So that's the fourth area which we focus as a part of shared services forum. It's been an interesting journey, and I think I take this opportunity to thank everyone and each one of you who have been contributing in various ways, as well as supporting us, encouraging us to keep thinking of something new every time and bring something new to each one of us to share and exchange knowledge. I think I take this opportunity to thank the partners for today's event, UST and Quintus Global for really supporting it, and Muniver Technologies, Thomson Reuters, R Value Group for really enabling it. I think it's an honor to be here, and I think so all my partners, Thomson Reuters, UST, Quintus, R Value, Muniver, you all have been great support to make this happen once again. So with this, I would move on to the keynote address, because I think many of us have already received many messages by saying they're all waiting to hear from Ravi, and I think I will request him to come and share his perspective as a keynote address. I think a very interesting topic Ravi has picked up, and this is called boundaryless towards boundaryless. But just before I move on to and pass the baton to Ravi, I just also wanted to share the 2 days is going to be an interesting one. As you know, the next 2 days we'll have after this keynote address, we have a panel session which is from the lens of the CFO, starting at 3:45 to 4:45. Some industry eminent leaders there, and I'll be back there at that point of time with you all. After that, we have a GBS leaders roundtable which is supported by Thomson Reuters, and we have again some industry veterans from the GBS world to deliberate, and my colleague Anand will be the moderator for that panel. Tomorrow we have another couple of interesting sessions. We have a session which is going to be deliberating a lot about realizing value thanks to this whole leapfrogging on digital, and this is supported by UST. We will have Tanmay Agarwal from Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages moderating this panel. We will have a next panel, which is special presentations from some interesting experiences being shared by leaders like Martin, who is joined from Basel. We'll have Harish, we'll have Sushil Khidia sharing some of these interesting insights on their experiences. And we'll wrap this session tomorrow with a fireside chat from an SSF point of view, culminating some of the discussions which we'll have today and tomorrow. With this, I will request Ravi to take the session ahead from here. Can I have Ravi on the screen, please? And if you can just take the slides off from the back end, I request them to take the slides off, please. So Ravi, I think absolutely over to you towards boundaryless finance, realities and way forward, Ravi. So over to you.